How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to talk about clothing systems and how to keep yourself warm and dry in pretty much any circumstance or situation. I have an emergency kit filled with stuff, and then I also have my normal everyday that I carry with me in the backcountry, at least in a staging position with the vehicle. Now we're going to go over those layers, what I have used over literally a decade worth of, enjoying, actually over that, even longer than that, probably 15, 20 years at this point with some of this stuff, but we're going to dive into it. So mainly, this clothing system I'm going to show you behind me has been used in negative 55 degree temperature. No joke. I'll probably, put photos or video or something up here, all the way up to just normal temperatures, 80, 90, 100 degrees in the layering aspect. Now the military uses the layering aspect as well. At least they suggest you do it, and you're supposed to have certain layers to protect against certain climates. I don't really use too much of the military stuff. I do in one layer of it. It's not shown here, but it's occasionally I'll use it. But starting out, the base layer. Base layers, I normally use exclusively merino wool. Now this is a smart wool. I think this is a 250 weight, and it is extremely nice on your skin. It feels good. Antimicrobial, it will not smell. Well, I mean, eventually it will, but if you wear cotton, like the next day, you're like, oh, that smells terrible. At least this will keep that from occurring. So if you are out in the backcountry for, a few days or even a week or so, you can rotate stuff like out like this, and it will help you. Moisture wicking is mainly what I go after. In Survivor Man, what he says, if you sweat, you die. And that is absolutely reasonably true. So merino wool has those properties to pull that moisture away from your body and then try to push it out through your other layers to evaporate it. So that's what I mainly use in, my base layers, including underwear and long johns, and then a normal layer or a top layer if you need that type, if we're getting into, colder based extremes. Now, normally a step up from that, I will go to a reasonably medium weight fleece. Now this is just a Columbia. This is nothing special. I'm not sponsored by any products back here. I don't get any money for anything unless you go to the Amazon affiliate links and then just purchase some of this stuff. That's the only way. But in general, I have no affiliate with any of these companies. They don't know I'm doing this. I'm just sharing you my experience. Like I said, Columbia, that's what I've used for years, and this fleece layer also helps me regulate temperature. At least it does for me. Might be different for other folks, but for myself, this is the next layer up that I'll go to if it is reasonably and extremely cold and I'm not doing a lot of work. If I know I'm just going to be hanging out, doing just common stuff around a general area or filming or stuff like that. If I'm hiking, I'll downgrade some of this stuff. Normally the next layer up, if it's extremely cold, I will go to a heavier fleece at this point. Now this is just a North 40, a heavier zip fleece. I've had this thing for years and it works extremely well. That's more normally my next layer. So pretty much at this point, I have two options that I can go to, depending on how cold it is outside. If it's extremely cold, I can go to another wool layer, or I can go to a wind blocker / rain jacket. Now this one is a 511 Tactical Series jacket. I really, really enjoy this jacket. I've had it for years and years. It has a hood, it's removable, pockets all over the place. The hood unzips. It has pit zips under here, so you can unzip and get some airflow if it is kind of warm outside. And that pit zip, actually, for on-duty based personnel, zips all the way down to the side of you. And the cool thing is it reverse zips as well, so it can go up and then it'll snap. Now the benefit of this is if you're a law enforcement officer or you're carrying a firearm in the backcountry or something like that, and you like to use hip carry, you can literally unzip this and carry your firearm external and then re-zip it and everything. So your firearm is messed with by your clothing. It doesn't lay over it and then you have to fumble with it and stuff like that. It's easily obtainable and usable in a moment's notice. I use this in my law enforcement roles quite a bit. Salt water, this thing has been drenched multiple times. Wind-wise, this is just an all-around good jacket. I'm not saying you have to get this jacket. I'm just saying, hey, get some kind of wind or rain-based blocker. Now, like I said, if it was extremely cold out, I would transition absolutely as this mid layer before I go to my rain jacket to my favorite pretty much jacket is the Leicester River Bushcraft 100% wool anorak. Now, this thing is extremely pricey now. Well, it was then too, with just, you know, inflation just doesn't really help. But this is pretty much my all-time favorite jacket. This is 100% real wool, and it's into more of a pocket-based aspect or a hoodie. Has multiple different features. You can cinch it down. It comes up over your face if you want it. So if it's extremely cold, which I'll probably run footage of me literally in crazy weather with this thing. Nice hand warmers or pockets you can go in. Cinches up at the bottom so you don't get that airflow coming up underneath you. Cinches up very well. Now this is a little bit heavy. I mean, it's wool. Wool's, you know, pretty heavy. And I know a lot of people like synthetics and they transition to that. But I am a diehard wool person, merino wool, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I enjoy, and I highly recommend it. So if you use all those layers, and then on top you could put your rain jacket if you're getting like poured on or there's tons of snow. And even if this gets wet, wool is a great, you know, insulator because it retains its heat no matter even if it's wet. Now you're gonna lose some, of course, that heat, but it retains it very well. Now moving down into pants, I like True Spec Expedition pants. It's literally what I have on now. These are a little bit pricey as well. I was testing them out, but so far I extremely like them. They work extremely well. Mainly the high points is they have reinforced knees, and for the summertime, along the sides, they unzip to mesh. So it's pretty much like wearing shorts in essence, because you can get a breeze through there and it really helps. You have two main pockets in the front, which I like, and then also down at the bottom where your ankles are, it does the same thing. It can zip up, and then you have mesh as well to get, you know, airflow through there. It does have hooks. The one thing I do not like about it, in a way, it has hooks at the bottom. Now this is meant to hook into your shoelaces and keep your pants from riding up on you. It works. Sometimes I don't like them there. I wish they made kind of a small little zip or something that you could use them and not use them. I probably could tuck them in, but sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's the only real major hindrance that I have. Elastic waistband, so if you do expand a little bit or contract it, it'll help you out. Button and the seams are extremely reinforced, especially if you carry a pocket knife. There's other pockets up on the top, large amount of space to carry things. I'm talking trauma kit, tourniquet, you know, EDC. If you guys want to see my EDC, honestly, I carry a lot of stuff with me. I just have. They fit into these pants just fine. So, lastly is socks. Now, mainly, I am a darn tough sock person, 100%. That's pretty much what I wear. But goofy enough, I found these Redhead wool socks at a Bass Pro years and years ago, and they just turned out to be really, really good, actually, and I'm surprised. So I always keep these as an extra layer to go over top to, you know, keep that heat in and the moisture wicking capability and other stuff like that. So socks are very important. Go expensive on your socks. I know they're going to be $20 a pair for the darn tough stuff or smart wool or whatever you prefer in your wool. I recommend wool and going expensive because your feet will thank you. Foot care is very important and I highly recommend it. So lastly, I carry majority of all this stuff in like a deployment bag. When I go out to the backcountry like this, hey, just ready to go. I just stuff everything in there, and then I can layer up and layer down depending on what the day is going to bring. Now, on top of that, with the whole bug out bag or get home bag mindset, I also carry a full kit of the same, roughly the same type of clothing in my vehicle at all times. Now, this is like pretty much not an emergency kit, but a backup kit in one of these Amazon basic bags, which I really like. These things are really nice for organization-based stuff like that. But that's everything. I'm talking shoes, socks, and then every layer in between, including a belt, everything like that ready to go, and including swim shorts in case, you know, me and the family like just stop off somewhere. Hey, let's swim in this random swimming hole when it's really nice out in the summertime. Good to go. I have stuff in there for that, along with a towel and other things like that. So this pretty much always rides, and I highly recommend it to keep it in your vehicle at all times, just in case something happens. Especially if you're caught in a get home bag or bug out bag kind of scenario. Now you have clothing with you at all times that you can layer up and layer down no matter what the situation is. So other than that, if you guys like this kind of stuff, definitely hit like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Consider being a Patreon. Patreon, I really give a lot of Patreons a lot behind the scenes and stuff that YouTube will never see. And it helps the channel out as well, especially with the money that goes from Patreon actually goes back into the channel. I show you where your money is going to by purchasing new items and then doing reviews on it and other stuff like that. There's also PayPal if you want to donate that way, but mainly the biggest help to the channel is going to be that like and that subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And if you guys like this kind of stuff, definitely hit those two. Check out the description box below. I have a lot of these items. I'm going to do my best to put them down there. Like I said, I don't make any money off of any of this, just the Amazon affiliate, which is like several cents per item. But with the companies, I make no money whatsoever. But other than that, I hope you all have a great day.